y'all, it's Nat. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do my March wrap up. I did not read a whole lot of books in the month of March. I only read one, two, three, four. I think it was four books in the month of March. I did start a few. I did not finish a lot of them that I did start. However, the four that I was able to read, I did enjoy. Okay. So if you're new here, again, my name is Nat. I go by the handle the Bookish Wife on all of my social platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, even here on YouTube. I tend to like to do little mini book reviews. I talk about the books that I've read. I also do a story time with my mini. These are all the things that I want to do on my channel. I try to be as truthful as I can be without being without being, I want to say damaging, but I don't want to like talk down or be just real weird with my reviews or with the things that I say. I am an avid reader. I love to read. I love to write. Audiobooks are my jam because I can't really sit physically with books as much as I used to, not with everything that's going on. Plus, I'm a newly soccer mom, so that is one extra thing that I'm doing. I'm also the communications liaison for the Black Romance Book Fest. If you have heard about that, we have our inaugural event this year from May 30th through June 1st. It will be in Atlanta. We have Kennedy Ryan, Jasmine Guillory, Tia Williams. We have Ray Lease, Gabby Burton. We have Jacqueline J. We have a lot of people that will be in attendance and so many more. And there are just a few names that I can just run off at the top of my head. Everything has been really great. So I am a busy person. So I'm trying to be more consistent with my videos. It just don't work like that sometimes. So I'm really trying my best, right? So let's get into my March reads, right? So the first book that I did end up reading, I was introduced to this author last year. I did a book tour with his book Eagle Rock. And I did not know at the time that it was book 4 in his Ashe Cayne series. So I was gifted an actual physical book, and I also had the AOC of the book. And his audiobook for Eagle Rock was narrated by Amir Abdullah. That's how you pronounce it. He is an amazing narrator because in this book, he has captured every kind of accent, every voice for every character, and I just loved it. So after reading Eagle Rock, I said I was going to go back through his catalog. I hadn't went through it, but I decided this month, well, March, I'm sorry, in March, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead on and get back to his catalog because I really needed like more of a crime, like detective thriller. I was trying to really get into romance. I'm trying to kind of get away from romance as much. I really do love like detective type suspense type books. And so I really enjoyed the wittiness of Ashe Cayne and Eagle Rock. So I was like, let me go back in the beginning. And that's exactly what I did. So the first book I did end up reading in the month of March was Wolf Point, which was the very first book in the Ashe Cayne series. And in this book, we were able to really, like you basically like an introduction to Ashe Cayne, and you kind of see how he operates and navigates through his cases and things. This book was, I think I gave it a 4.5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Don't quote on me. And mind you, in this book right here, along with the other two, I actually bought from Better World Books. They're used books. These are ex-library copies. These books are in tip-top shape. I love this, and I love the fact that they are actually laminated. I love this, and I love me a good hardcover. Okay, but anyway, this book right here was really good. I think this was the one that I was trying to figure out. Not this one. This was the other one. No, Walter. This was the one I was trying to figure out what happened to Walter. I said, who did this to Walter? Okay. Ashe Cayne is very witty. He can spit off what's his name? William Shakespeare at the drop of a dime. He give you like the kind of dark, I won't say dark humor, but his jokes were hilarious. And I love the writing in this. The writing was really well. The story was really well. I was trying to keep up with the characters and figure out who did what, where the loopholes were. You had a lot of breadcrumbs whenever Ashe Cayne finally got to the point of like aha moments. You were there, you felt it, you were right there with him, and you were trying to figure out the case. So I really enjoyed this one. Next up, from Ian K. Smith, I read The Unspoken. Now, I was hurt with Unspoken because my man, what's my guy's name? Chopper. I was upset about Chopper. I was devastated about Chopper. I'm not even gonna tell you what happened to Chopper, but I was upset. This was book two, or this is book two in the Ashe Cayne series. Um, this one I really enjoyed this one too. I think I gave it the same amount. I think it was a 4.55. I'm not sure which one, but it was definitely high on my list, and I would definitely go back and read it again, even though I know who did what. But I just want to go back and say, okay, did I miss this? Did I miss that clue? Did I miss, you know what I'm saying? See what I missed in the in reading it. But I really enjoyed this one too. You still got the wittiness of Ashe Cayne. His sidekick mechanic, which you got introduced to him in Wolf Point, but mechanic is my dude. Okay, Ashe and mechanic. I want to call him Mecha Ashe and mechanic made great partners. I really enjoyed this one as well. I was going to get into book three, but I'm an immersive reader and I like to have the audio to go along with the physical book. And so, even though I do have the third book, because I bought them all after I read the first two and listened to the first two um, via Kindle Unlimited, and they were, you have Kindle Unlimited, some books are available through audio, a part of that, and that's what happened with those. So, I'm waiting for the audio for what's the other one called? The Overnights. The Overnights is book three. I'm waiting for that audio so I can finish that. And then I'm waiting for book five to come out. And I want to say it comes out in August. Don't quote me on that. I think that's right. Next up, and I'm going to insert a picture. I read Losing Control by Lady Nisha. Um, that was a majorly talked about book. I think it was like last year when it came out. And I enjoyed her other books, Finally Famous and Lucid Dreams. I really enjoyed Finally Famous was my favorite book from her. You typically can get something funny. The characters will say some reckless, random things. And so you will be entertained in her books, in her writing. For Losing Control, I went in with a certain expectation. It did have funny points to it. I think I'm kind of in the place where me and like urban type books are not really getting along anymore. I can read books with urban elements to them, but if it's like really urban, I don't really want to really get into it. I definitely want to read street lit. I read that back in my 20s. I don't want to read street lit anymore, but I do like some urban elements in my stories. There's just certain things in my ripe old age now that I just don't really want to get through. I had a certain expectation for this book, and I was thinking it was going to be something else than it was, but it was not that. However, I did enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it, but it was a pretty good book. It was pretty funny, and I do see why people love it as much as they love it. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. However, it was still a good book. You still were entertained. What I did love about it, though, I did love the development between Marley and Czar. I think his name was Czar. Is that how you pronounce it? I think so. I did like how they met, and then I like how they end up developing into a friendship. And I really love like the game night, and I loved how she was able to blend in with his brothers, the family, and they kind of, what I'm saying, like enjoy one another. And then her sister, like I really enjoy the family aspect of it. I did. It was just the other elements that kind of just irked me. And then towards the end, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But it still was a pretty good book, so I do understand why people love it. So definitely, if you want something funny, you want something entertaining, with some urban, you got a rapper, and then she was like a herbalist. She made teas and things, which I thought that was different. I think you will enjoy that one as well. Lastly, but not least, in the month of March, this was one of my favorite reads of the month, and it's funny because I was trying to go for romance, but I did read this one romance book. This is a contemporary romance, which is the heart of who I am. I love a contemporary romance, a slow burn, one where the characters can build and develop, and I can get into their relationship for sure. Was this right here by J.B. Vample? This is my second book I read by her. The first one I read was Right as Rain, and it was also a contemporary romance. I love that one. If you can see the tabs I made on that book. This one, I have a few tabs on this one, as you can see. And I won this book in a giveaway. This is my bookmark that came with it. And so this book is signed. This one is signed by the author, right? Um, and I tabbed it. Got my little stamp in there. I truly love this. If I have to say which was my favorite book for the month, it would have to be this one. And I just created a like a quick shout out, giving her flowers because she's a very excellent writer. And I know a lot of times in the different reading spaces, a lot of people don't really pay too much attention to indie authors as much, but indie authors, honestly, a lot of their content can definitely be. I don't want to say you can compare it, like it's comparable to someone who's trad. I think you can get more raw, authentic writing in with indie authors because I guess they're not really. I don't want to say censored. I will say censored just for the sake of this conversation, but this book right here, you're talking about somebody who was divorced. She was a single mom, and then she met, the single man. He's older. They're both like over 35. So this was an adult contemporary romance. One of the things I really loved about this book was that Michael Carter, okay, first of all, he was an excellent man, but he was not toxic. He wasn't cheating. There were no, baby mamas anywhere. There were no, women hiding somewhere. Like he didn't do a bunch of lies. Like he was one of the most well written men that I have read in a very long time. And I really appreciated how she shined a light on Black love in this book. Um, if you love contemporary romance, if you love a slow burn, this is where you have it. Another thing I enjoyed about this too were the dates, like how they were courting, how they were dating. You could feel like you I'm not big on Insta love because I don't want to read a book and say, okay, they meet today and then 3 days later they're in this whole relationship. I don't like that. I like to know how they got there. I want to feel how they got there. It needs to be more sensory for me. Like I'm a sensory reader, and a well written story for me. And I say for me, I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about me, right? A well written story for me is where I'm able to feel all those things. I actually can feel the connection between the two. I know, um, you know, through the whole reading of the relationship that, okay, they got from point A to B to C. Like I can feel all of those progressions that they made in their relationship. And that's something that I enjoy about reading a good book. Another author that I know that writes like this, who's like a new I don't want to say a newer author because I've been a fan of hers for a while, but she's only been around for a few years, is Rayleigh. Her books, like The End Game and At the End of It All, like her stories are so well written. They're my comfort reads. I go back over them. I know at least once a quarter, and every time I read the books, I get something different. So writing like that, writing like J.B. Vampel, those are the authors and the writings that I truly enjoy. A.E. Valdez is another one. Her stories, she does friends to lovers so well. Just want to just mention that out. And you may hear my little one in the background. I'm not sure, but if you do, that's who it is. But anyway, that is all that I read for March. Honestly, I didn't read a whole lot. I did start. Here it is. I did start this book. This was random. This is out of my comfort zone. This is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I saw someone on my friends list who, one of my mutuals, she was on a buddy read for this book, and I just got into Libro FM's AOC influencer group, and so I actually did get this audio from March. This book just came out in March. It's like a new release, and it is very interesting. I have not been able to really sit and really like focus in on this book, but it sounds pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Just to kind of give you a synopsis, it says this chilling historical novel is set in the nascent days of the state of Montana, following a Blackfeet Indian named Goodstab as he haunts the fields of the Blackfeet Nation looking for justice. It begins when a diary written in 1912 by a Lutheran pastor is discovered within a wall in 2012. What is unveiled is the slow massacre, a nearly forgotten chain of events that goes back to 217 Blackfeet dead in the snow, told in the transcribed interviews with Goodstab. He shares a narrative of his peculiar and unnaturally long life over a series of professional visits. This is an American Indian revenge story captured in the vivid voices of time by one of the new masters of literary horror, Stephen Graham Jones. This is historical thriller. Never read that before. Didn't even know that was a genre. So I am excited to get into this. And I did actually start it. I think I didn't even get that far, but I did meet Good Stab. First of all, his name is Good Stab. Like, am I the only one that was like, whoa, wait, his name is Good Stab? Let that marinate, right? Okay, anyway. So that is all that I have. Oh, the other thing I did, and I dropped it, y'all. The other thing I did for my daughter was I had got her "Hello There, Sunshine" by Tabitha Brown. I just want to mention this. This is too cute. Okay. I will be posting a video where my daughter and I will be reading this for our story time. So that is the next book that we will read for our story time. I was devastated because she came to Raleigh and I missed her. Literally, she's right up the street from me, and I missed her. I did. But anyway, we will get into this as well. So, but that is all for me. That was all I did for March. I think I had a pretty good month. I had a wide range. I had suspense, I had contemporary romance, and I had like a urban book. You know, um, the only other thing I did do in March, I did a reread of The End Game by Ray Lease, and I did a reread of At the End of It All by Ray Lease. And so those are my rereads. I don't count those as reads for the month. That's when I'm in between books. I don't feel like reading anything else. I'll go to a comfort read and listen to that. But that is all I have. If y'all have anything to say, if you have any comments about any of the books that I read, if you're looking forward to reading those, um, let me know in the comments, like, share, subscribe. And I enjoy conversating. I don't want to keep saying conversating. It's really conversing, but I have a habit of saying conversating. I'm working on that. What I'm going to read in April, I have no idea. I do want to finish The Buffalo Hunter in April. I do have an arc from a friend of mine who finished the book and she wanted me to read it. I'm technically a beta reader for her, so I'm going to beta read that. But outside of that, I don't know what else I'm going to do in April. Not sure. Have no idea. But until then, see you later.